Sadiq Khan has ordered the Metropolitan Police to cover up the attack on Maya Tousi and the plot to kill him. This is an unbelievable low point for the Mayor of London. Hello everyone, this is Andre Walker. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. It's the best way to absolutely guarantee you get all of my videos as soon as they are released. Well, I have a source in the London Assembly, which is effectively the Parliament of Government, that have tipped me off about something that is really extraordinary and really astonishing. That Sadiq Khan is personally attempting to intervene to protect the officers who illegally accessed Maya Tousi's data and illegally published it in the hope that he would be killed by Islamists. Effectively, let's just recap on the story and then tell you a little bit more about it. As we all know, Maya Tousi was being threatened by the Metropolitan Police, who were upset that he was offending Hezbollah. They didn't want him to be critical in any way of Hamas or Hezbollah or any Islamist terrorist organisations. When he made clear and made plain that he felt that he hadn't committed any illegal act whatsoever, and of course, when we started ridiculing the non-crime hate incidents, well, the police then conspired to publish his details. And why this is significant is because of the threat to Maya Tousi. We all know that if you publish probably my address or your address, whilst that would be illegal and would be very upsetting, it wouldn't probably place us in a great deal of danger. Whereas, of course, in the case of Maya Tousi, we know that the Iranians are after him, we know that he's received death threats, and we know that the publication of his address is a real problem because he has had to move for his own security reasons. Well, what I've been tipped off about is that obviously the police have a suspect of the person that they believe leaked all this information, and they want to deal with it as a professional standards issue. Sadiq wants this person to get off completely and apparently has instructed police leaders to find a way to exonerate this person, whereas I'm advocating a criminal prosecution. People have asked me about this £10,000 reward, and actually I was on Dan Wootton's channel. He's a good bloke, Dan Wootton, actually. Believe it or not, even though we both worked at Talk, I don't know him that well. I sort of on nodding terms with him, but I did appear. And he asked me about this £10,000, and people in the comment section apparently were sort of saying, well, I don't have £10,000. Well, look, I'm not saying that it's easy to pony up £10,000. I was clear from the outset that I would do whatever it took. I said I'd sell a kidney, get a begging bowl, save up, whatever it is, because it's such an important issue to defend our country. And let me remind you of what that £10,000 pledge was. I said that I would give £10,000 to anybody who gave me information leading directly to the conviction of any police officer, member of the security services or civil servant who had illegally accessed Maya Tousi's data or attempted to leak it. I think that that is pretty much fair enough. And what it's also done is it's enabled me to get information like this about Sadiq, because people are getting in touch left, right and centre. Well, let me talk a little bit about Sadiq. I will tell you something about this situation when he was a complete hypocrite over various issues. One of them, of course, was his relationship with Babar Ahmed. Babar Ahmed was the father of Al-Qaeda's online presence, and Sadiq Khan has variously described himself as a relative, best friend, and somebody he didn't even know. All of those fairly similar. But he visited him multiple times in prison. He said he visited him when he was his MP, but in fact he actually visited him before that. So Sadiq is kind of keen on anybody who takes down what he sees as the British establishment. It doesn't matter how rotten they are. But he is well up for intervening in a way that is improper. And this intervention is certainly that. The idea that now we would let police officers away with a political attack and a plot to kill a political opponent, I think is absolutely dastardly. And we need to get rid of this man, Sadiq Khan. I'll tell you something that frustrates me. You know what Maggie did when she had a problem with Ken Livingstone? Hitler, well, you know what she did? She just abolished the government of London. And I think that's what we need to do, because all of these devolved assemblies are causing terrible problems. Has policing been improved since Sadiq Khan became the head of police and we removed the Metropolitan Police Authority? No. Have services in London got better? No. This is a small man with a big chip on his shoulder Sadiq Khan is, and somebody causes significant problems. I think that we need to be saying to the next Conservative government, or the next Reform government, or the next Reform and Conservative government, that we need to abolish all of these bodies because of the politicisation. But now let's talk a little bit about the support that I've been getting. I'll tell you something. Good God, Metropolitan Police. Good God, Brigade 77. Good God, Governance of London. Don't you leak when there's money on the table. We know all sorts of things about what's going on now. But this shouldn't be happening. And what I want to say now is this. We will not, as a group of people, criticise individual police officers. I'm not Alex Belfield. I'm not going to go on the rant against somebody. But what I will say is, where police are conducting a genuine criminal investigation, we will not have a go at them individually. Where they are misusing their powers to run a political campaign, oh, by the way, where they're misusing their powers in order to attempt to get somebody killed, then very definitely we're going to call them out on that, and rightly so, because we are the defenders of the British Constitution. And let me make a final point to the police. When Jean-Charles de Menezes was shot, a really, really terrible incident, it was as a result of Operation Krytos. Operation Krytos was a protocol to protect people against terrorism. Now, ultimately, the guys that pulled the trigger were going to get in significant trouble. It was the Conservative right and Reform people and UKIPers who supported those officers. When we've seen the police leadership attempt to throw their own people to the wolves, say over Chris Cabba, who is it that came to the defence of the police? Time and time again, the people that the police are sucking up to are the people that want to defund the police. Ash Sarkar, Owen Jones. These people are the enemy of the police because they're the enemy of the British Constitution. They're the enemy of the British people. And I have to warn Sir Mark Rowley, and I have to warn Sadiq Khan, and I have to warn the Police Federation that it is remarkably foolish to suck up to your enemies. I mean, always remember, you see Harry and Meghan going out sucking up to people who want to abolish the British monarchy. Bully for them. But it's not something that I would support. I think we have to look at policing much more seriously. I think we need to break up these large police forces. I think we need to remove the politicos, the hard left politicos at the top of police associations. If you lamented the fall of the Soviet Union, you should not be a senior police officer in Britain. If you believe that ordinary people should be locked up, and if you believe that it's your job as a warranted police officer to campaign for uncontrolled immigration by bullying legitimate political arguments against it, you really should not be there. We now have to have some real significant reforms, and we have to stop Sadiq Khan in his tracks. But I also want to say, finally, that I think what's going on with Maya Tousi demonstrates that we can win. I've never for 1 second said that I'm downbeat. I've never said for 1 second that I'm sad. I've never said for 1 second that I believed that Britain was in real danger. Yes, people like me will get into trouble. Yes, there'll be arguments. And yes, there will be people who fall by the wayside for whatever reason. But we will win, because we're in the right, we're in the majority, this is our country, and we will defend our constitution. Sadiq, just like when you defended Babar Ahmed over his Al-Qaeda links, you will fail when it comes to Maya Tousi. We're not going to allow decent British patriots to be picked off one by one. You've done that to us for far too long. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. Also, please comment. Do you think that I'm right in what I'm saying? Do you think that Sadiq Khan is a danger to British national security? Do you think that we should be abolishing the Greater London Authority, just as Margaret Thatcher abolished the GLC? Add all those comments. I'm very happy to reply to as many as I can. Until next time, goodbye.